my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Reverend Sharon Flynn. She is a minister with this Metaphysical Chapel of Life and has been a chapel member since 1994. In 1999, she became a Novitiate Minister through the Metaphysical Chapel of Life, and in 2002, she was fully ordained under the auspices of our charter church, the Church of Enlightenment. She has owned and operated hypnosis and healing centers since 2002, locally and in other areas, using her gifts and abilities as a spiritual director and consultant, an advanced energy healer, a certified hypnotherapist, and a teacher of classes and workshops. Sharon's prior career in the medical field as a radiology technologist of 25 years helped shape her natural healing abilities and understanding of the human form. Here at the chapel, she is our minister who oversees spiritual healing, teaches spiritual healing classes, and also facilitates seasonal celebrations at the chapel. She has experienced several NDEs, or near-death experiences, as well as numerous expanded spiritual experiences that have guided her on this path of alternative healing modalities and facilitating change and soul growth for others. She is blessed with 3 grown married children, 2 sons and a daughter, with 4 grandsons and 2 granddaughters. I offer to you Reverend Sharon Flynn.
We're probably about the same length, so is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here. I'd like to start off with prayer, so let us pray. Father, Mother God, Heavenly Creator, I ask that I be connected to my higher self. And as I'm connected to the higher self, I open to this wisdom, this knowledge that is available now through my heart and through my inner higher mind. I ask that the message that is to come through will come through for the free will, for the good of all, in the Christ-like Christ's name. Amen. All right.
Just going to adjust you a little.
Okay. All right. So I have a favorite book. Everybody has a favorite book. And my book is The Conversations with God. I love Neil Donald Walsh. So I wasn't quite sure what to talk about, so I always ask questions. Bibliomancy, is anybody familiar with that name? You know, you just go ask, you ask a question, you open up to a page. And usually the message comes through. So, and when I did that, everything that I experienced from that time on, that must have been Wednesday, everything I listened to talked about the same thing that I was connected to, or I wanted to talk about. So I didn't even know if this was an actual word, but knowingness is the subject I want to talk about. And I did look it up. It was in the dictionary. So that's nice, because I do like to make up words. And I have that tendency to do that a lot. So I kind of just want to get, the reason why I feel knowingness has a big impact is that we are going through this ascension. And we are going through and adding more light to our DNA, which opens up to more wisdom or more connectiveness to God. You know, probably about 10 years ago, and I'm just conjecturing, 10 years ago, we were in a different whole place than we are now. And the light that we received was only about 20% of the light that was God's light. For whatever reason, there was, to me, I see it as a hologram across the earth, and it dimmed down what we could absorb. We're out now in the light age, and we are receiving 80 to 90% of the light. So You may feel exhausted from receiving all this light, or you may feel very, very energized. And you might have some of that every other day. It just depends on how you cope with the changes in our physical form and how our body is integrating them. I notice when I do my energy work, the actual chakras are different than they used to be. The actual flow of the light and the energy comes out of my hands and goes in different directions according to the people that I have on the table. So that indicates to me that we are going through some major changes. So hold on, we're not through them yet, but we are in the end of the end time. So knowingness, I want to bring this back, that knowingness is part of this church, okay? It's part of the intuitiveness. It's part of the psychic developments, psychic knowingness. So when we have experiences that we have this knowingness, it's independent of our thoughts. It doesn't come in through our mental mind, but we have to be open to our heart center and to the quiet in your inner mind. You have to be in this quiet place. Don't let that chatter come in. We can receive the feeling when our mind's in somewhat of a chatter state, but we'll go over that in a minute, because we intuit different ways. All of us do. Some comes in auditory. Some of us come in through our feeling center. Some come in through our visual abilities. Our inner eye is also another seeing, if you would. So we've got, everybody regulates their intuition and their psychic abilities in a different way. And that's for you to know and you to hone into. So knowingness is interchanging to me with the wisdom that we receive from God. The wisdom to me is generally referred to our life experiences and knowing oneself. You can be very intuitive and also get all confused if you don't know oneself. I think one of the biggest things that people that are empaths have is that they don't know if it's their stuff when they're out in a crowd or if it's somebody else's. That empath will pull things in and all of a sudden they want to leave or they want to change wherever they are. It's because they don't discern between picking up other people's energy and their own. So that's important to have that awareness. So the dictionary's meaning of knowingness is, knowingness refers to the quality or the state of having knowledge, awareness, or understanding about something that you really don't have cognitive training in. We all have moments of knowing who's calling on our phone. We know. That's just another way. Knowing that you need to leave early to avoid traffic. I'm sure everybody's had that experience. Knowing when you're going to get some money. I've been itching my left hand for some days now. And the other one is knowing who has passed. There's just, everybody has different experiences. Those are just the ones that came to my mind. I had a experience one time. I was getting ready to leave to go out to dinner with a friend, and I can't go anywhere. All of a sudden, I had this knowingness around me, and there was somebody there, and I go, I'll be right back. I got to go to the garage. I went to the garage, and I go, I'm having a conversation with this person, and I go, yeah, I know you have passed. I'm sorry. I guess you knew me. I'm sending you lots of light. And then I turned around and then went out. As soon as I got to the place, I got a phone call from my brother saying that our cousin Bobby had passed. So it made perfect sense, because I had a great-grandmother that was intuitive. She read palms and Phoebus, and she was well known. So everybody in my family knows about my abilities, like her abilities. So they come to me right before they pass and talk to me. So that was a very interesting experience. I could just go on and on and on about my experiences with things, but you know, when we have that knowledge that it's coming from another space within you, you are connected to spirit. You're fully connected to spirit. And knowing that, the logical mind will sometimes want to play some tricks on you. Just be aware of that. So it's easier to discern when you've had many of them. I think that when people come to visit or you do an intuitive messages and readings, it's like they have a certain awareness of, it's almost like you can tune in to a radio. And as you tune into the radio, that person or that spirit will have a familiar mindset or a familiar energy, and you'll be able to place that. Now, this is usually, I'm not teaching your class there, but it's a vibrational frequency that you will be able to discern as you do more of that type of work. And I had a very interesting talk with a friend that's very intuitive, and she would say your mother's stuff is on that right side and your father's stuff is on your left side. And did you know that you had an eagle tapping on the top of your head? And I go, I wondered what that was. Literally, I've had something tap on my head all week long. So that was nice because I can't see my stuff all the time. It's nice to hear something from other people. So our intuition is our access to knowledge that is available to all of us. Just like our song, it's in every one of us. It is. It's in every one of us, and it's going to get very, very profound as the light age continues to occur. So now one of the things that I really found very fascinating is that I took a healing class here with Kathy Whitley years and years ago, and she used the Healing Touch, the Hands of Light book, and we got to practice on each other. And she just went over the chakras, and she talked about going over, just scanning the body with your hands. And I got a download in less than 3 days that all that I knew how to heal, and I did not have that knowledge in my logical mind. That was a very profound experience for me. It wasn't like I just did a scan. It was like I was cleaning off the person that was on the floor while we were working on each other. And so out of intuitive wisdom and knowingness, all of that knowledge came in. And every time I didn't know something, I asked. And I have very good auditory messages. They told me what to do, how to do it, and it still is working that way because everybody's different. So we always all of us get these moments of these experiences. The knowing of knowledge we did not have on a conscious level before, but you know when you know, because you know that's the truth within you. So I'd like to read something from the Conversations with God, and it's a very interesting, this is my bibliomancy here. And so I opened it up, and they were talking about his 10 commandments. And I'm not going to read that part. I'm going to talk about that, they were talking in the book about the 10 commandments, and well, I can keep these 10 commandments and I'll get to heaven. And this is the response from God, or the conversation with God. There is no such thing as getting to heaven. There is only a knowing that you're already there. It is accepting and understanding, not working for or striving. You cannot go to where you already are. To do that, you would have to leave where you are, and that would defeat the whole purpose of this journey. The irony is that most people think they have to leave where they are to get to where they want to be. And so they leave heaven in order to get to heaven and go through hell to get there. Enlightenment is understanding that there is nowhere to go, nothing to do, and nobody you have to be except exactly who are you're being right now. We are all on the journey to nowhere. Heaven, as you call it, is nowhere. Just put some space between the W and the H in that word, and you will see that heaven is now here. I love that. I love that because it's true that we are actually creating our own experience, whether it's the other side of the coin or a heavenly side of the coin. And we definitely are learning. Now, there's just a little bit more info I want to pass on. You cannot experience what you don't know. He was talking about, how do I know this is heaven if I don't know what heaven feels like? And so this is their little discussion. And you don't know you're in heaven right now because you've not experienced it. You see, for you, it is a vicious circle. You cannot have not found a way yet to experience what you do not know, and you do not know what you have not experienced. So what enlightenment asks you to do is to know something you have not experienced and thus experience it. Knowing opens the door to experience, and you imagine what it is on the other way around. You know that there is a God, for instance, but you may not know that you know that. So keep on waiting around for that experience, and all you'll do is keep on having it. So in other words, this means to me about how do we create something we don't know? I think it's very interesting how we can use our imagination. And to me, our imagination is the best feeling we could ever have, or the union between you and God. And imagine what that would be like. So we can create things that we don't know. But to me, the knowingness comes in from another level. So we have that intuition. We have this pull with this new age to develop more and more of our intuition. So, and we know, we know how information comes into our brain, okay? We have our ego that basically teaches us that we have thought, and we have our subconscious mind that teaches us we have wounds. But our higher self is, to me, the wisdom and the pathway to that love. So if you are connected to your heart center and you bring in that love for that connection to the wisdom, then we know that that information that's coming in through our feeling, through our ears, through our, just knowing stuff is, to me, the most important thing that we can do. We know when we're separated from Source God. We listen very well to the fears in our thoughts, and we listen to blame, and we listen to shame. And, or we'll be a victim, or we'll be, so the empowerment that we have connected to God is very, very, is the focus, is really what I'm encouraging everybody to do. That those other ways of, letting our thoughts run, the chatter, the everything, oh, what am I going to do today? Oh, I got to do this for them. I got to do this for that person. I got to, I got to work too somehow and take the dogs out for a walk. Yeah, those little eyes look at you and they make you feel, yeah. They do give me some blame. If you don't do it, we're not going to be happy. So go to your heart. I mean, you're going to experience more and more of this inner knowingness, and allow it to come in. I had a very, very interesting experience I think it was a week and a half ago. I was sitting in my den, and I could feel a presence coming in. And I know the energy of it. And it was like, put your hand out. Oh, so I did. And they filled my hand with stacks of what people have told me and said about who I am and what what I've done for them and in my work. And I watched the stack grow. And they go, put out your other hand. And those were the words, the wounds from, I have a mother wound, everyone, okay? How many of us don't have a mother wound, really? But so the mother wound had a couple of stacks up here too. And the words were, now watch. So every time one hit here, this one went into the light. And I watched it until there was nothing left on this hand at all. And I just felt so good. All those wounds, all those words. See, when you work with your wounded self, these are just words that you recorded. They're not you. They don't have really a whole lot to do with you, but you know, the person giving that was more of a reflection on who they are about themselves. And so, but that doesn't help when you're a child and you get that wound because it was absorbed by, you know, just your conscious mind. So you believed it. And so it was really interesting watching the shifting of that being that was here to help me shift myself and shift the work that I need to do. Because when I have that wholeness in me, it's going to be helpful for everybody else. So, so yes, go to your heart. Find that connection that you have with God, with yourself, with the I am. And when you judge yourself, you know that you're judging yourself and others. You know, just know that it's all programming, and we're going to be free from that soon. I mean, everybody's going to go at different paces, and everyone is going to look at their world in a different way. But once we have that full connection to our spiritual side, our intuition, then the world's all will be operating out of that intuition. So I want everyone to imagine that beautiful time that's coming. We won't even have to have words. We will know what everybody's thinking. So maybe only the positive things come through, or not that other stuff. So, but with that, I just want you to encourage to see the world in a way that you don't have to know everything. You just have to get connected to Spirit, and they will guide you with everything that you need. So many, many blessings to all. Thank you very much for allowing me to share.